marks the 71st anniversary of the Stonewall riots in New York City, New York. This is a momentous occasion as it marks the beginning of a global stand for acceptance of queer people across the world. The queer identity is no longer discriminated against and punishable by law. This act is recognized on a global scale, according to the United Nations. To celebrate, Pride parades are being hosted in many countries around the world that were once considered too dangerous to travel to and live in for queer people. You can see many people attending this march in Nigeria in support of the LGBTQ community. Nigeria was once considered one of the most dangerous places for LGBTQ people, as the maximum punishment was death by stoning. To understand how far we have come as a society, we first have to look back at the infamous Stonewall riots of 1969. It began in the early hours on June 28, 1969, when New York City police raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay club located in Greenwich Village in New York City. The raid sparked a riot among bar patrons and neighborhood residents as police roughly hauled employees and patrons out of the bar, leading to 6 days of protests and violent clashes with law enforcement outside the bar on Christopher Street, in neighboring streets, and in neighboring Christopher Park. This was a turning point in recognition for the queer community, as the Stonewall riots served as a motivation for the gay rights movement in the United States and around the world. The year following the riots, marches were held for gay liberation across the United States. Within the next decade, the idea of a parade celebrating queerness had gone international. Looking back 100 years, it was found that even the wealthiest countries in the world at the time still struggled with LGBTQ discrimination 71 years after Stonewall. In China, many queer people faced legal, societal, cultural, medical, and educational discrimination, while in the United States, queer individuals were discriminated against on the bias of religion, law, and education.
You people are clueless as to Almighty God. Hell and judgment when you die. Hell and judgment when you die. Sick, perverted, twisted are you in God's eyes.
The UN hopes for the discrimination and punishment of queerness to be a thing of the past, as they implement a global policy called We Are All Human. This policy globally makes gender identity and sexual orientation a protected class. This will decriminalize the private, consensual, same-sex sexual activity in 19 countries that currently criminalize it, as well as decriminalize the gender identity and expression of transgender people using so-called cross-dressing, impersonation, and disguise laws that 6 countries currently use to criminalize LGBTQ existence. One viewer wanted to express their thoughts on this new policy. Let's hear from them now.
Words cannot express how I feel. Today I am officially recognized through my government as human. My partner and I are ecstatic that we do not have to hide from the rest of society, and soon hope to be legally recognized as a married couple when we return to my home country of Nigeria.
After speaking with this individual, you can see how important this policy is. As we now come together to celebrate the LGBTQ community, we must not forget to acknowledge their existence and struggles throughout history. As you can see, today's reporting does not lack that acknowledgement. As a queer woman, I can now say I am proud of the world I live in. This is CH reporting from Chicago. Thank you and have a good night.